The world really has a burning hatred towards Christians for some reason. It's them specifically. You know what I've noticed about some people? They are purposefully dense and purposefully try to lack reading comprehension whenever it comes to a Christian mentioning anything to do with Christianity. Anything to do with it. They suddenly act like they have no reading comprehension. They purposely become dense. Let me explain to you how, okay? Right here, this girl said, Jamie Foxx said when he forgot about God, he blessed him with a stroke, and it'll go over a lot of heads, but that's powerful. And this person here said, Christians are so weird. Now, you don't even have to be someone who believes in God at all to understand what this means. Like, I can make it a secular reasoning of how this makes sense, right? Let's say you worked a lot, right? You worked a lot and then you had a stroke. And it made you realize just how important your family was to you. Makes sense, doesn't it? Like, you realize maybe I should stop working so much and spend more time with my family after I have a stroke. Okay, right? So that's a secular type argument. Anybody can understand that, right? But when a Christian says, when I forgot about God, God blessed me with a stroke, and I realized I needed to get closer to him again. Now you're like, oh, Christians are weird. It's like, but it would make sense if I said family, right? And then you got to think about it like this. This is also objective. This is also could be looked at secularly, right? Or like if God is real, right? Let's say, put this for if, then this statement makes complete sense that God would bless you with a stroke in order for you to realize you need to get closer to him again, right? But even if it's not true, the fact that someone believes this isn't crazy either. Like, there's ample amount of reasoning for anyone to believe in God, right? So for someone to say, oh, this happened and it made them realize how precious life is and it made me want to get closer to God, that's not crazy whether God is or isn't real. Of course, we can never know that until we know that. But secular or Christian, it's not a weird thing to say. Like, if a Muslim came to me and was like, oh, I had a stroke and it made me realize I got to get closer to Allah, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're weird, knowing that I'm a Christian. That's like, okay, I get what you're saying. You know, like, it's not a crazy thing to say. And I don't understand why it's never when if a Muslim says this, if a Buddhist, a Hindu says something like anything to do with their religion, people are like, right on, dude, good for you. But whenever a Christian says anything about Jesus, this is like this visceral anger, this reaction that people have. And I'm just like, why? And before I even chose to be a Christian, I even noticed that I was just like, why is everyone always just angry when someone brings up Jesus, right? You see that dude on TikTok who walks around and people like, oh, do you know Jesus or do you love Jesus or whatever? And then people just get so angry at him. I know for a fact. If somebody walked up people on the street like, hey, do you know Allah? No one will be angry. They're like, oh, no, that's not for me, man. And then just keep it going, right? I bet if I walked up to people on the street like, hey, you know who Sun Wukong is? Nobody would be angry at me. But I say Jesus, you're mad. You got pitchforks all of a sudden. It's really irritating a little bit. From a Christian standpoint and from a non-Christian standpoint, even when I didn't choose to really, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, why are y'all so angry?